Hello.
Hello!
Sorry for the little delay.
OBS was being an ass.
Yeah.
Didn't want to connect to Twitch.
Yep.
So we kind of had to fix that.
Yep.
But it's fixed, and we're now here.
Yeah.
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 We're back with more Steins,
Yeah.
as per usual.
Yeah.
Because it's, Wednesday.
Yeah.
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 And we're gonna start another loop.
Yeah.
What happened in the last loop?
Yeah. Huh?
I asked what happened in the last loop.
Well, we tried to, run
Yeah.
from
that's
everything,
one
get
thing we
everyone
did.
to, not be at the lab,
Mhm.
and try to save Mayuri from dying.
Mhm.
And by doing that, try to get her to the station so they could, take a train out of Tokyo. Or at least Akiba.
They wanted to go to Shibuya so they could take Shinkansen to Yokohama or somewhere else. So
Somewhere.
yes, they wanted to leave Tokyo, yes.
Wanted to get away. But obviously, train's not moving. The train is not moving through Akiba because of bomb threat. And then they tried to run elsewhere. Well,
They just tried to run out of Akihabara.
yeah.
At this point, I think.
Yeah. And Moika was like, "Bitch, no!"
Yeah.
And hits him with a car.
And Mayuri dies.
Again.
Somehow, Okabe doesn't die and make it back to the lab. And he leaves back. This time 3 hours and not 2. So now he has an hour more.
Yeah. The whole Okabe going back to the lab, I do not remember that at all.
I mean, it kind of just says that he somehow made it back, even though he technically has a broken leg.
Okay.
That's all it really does. It doesn't really explain anything else.
Okay, so it didn't actually show it to us.
No, it only showed when he arrived at the lab.
Okay. Because I didn't remember nothing of that. I was like, I remember.
Not really important.
I remember that we were on the ground after getting hit by the car. Mayuri died, and then Okabe obviously raged and tackled Moika.
He tackled Moika. Moika became unconscious, and then he ran because he was like, I need to time leap back. That's the only way to save her.
Yeah.
So they made it back to the lab.
And yeah, I tried to search for amount of, it's a little hard to find statistics on what cars they were prevalent in Japan in 2010. But considering how it is now, I would say that there's a good chance that the cars that, or the car that Moika was driving would have been an automatic. Therefore, it would have been fairly easy for him to, try and drive it. But
that doesn't mean he can control it. But
no.
he didn't think of it, alright? Because he is a law-abiding Japanese citizen.
Mad scientist, Hoen Kyoma, law-abiding citizen.
I mean, at that point, I don't think he was mad scientist Hoen Kyoma.
No,
probably not. Trying to save his childhood friend.
Yeah.
So that was not what was going through his head.
No, I suppose. But that's like it was at least plausible for him to have taken the car and driven it.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
But he's in a panic state.
Yeah, he's not thinking
about it. He doesn't even know how to drive it. He's just getting away.
He's not thinking straight.
No.
He's becoming a little queer. No.
Okay.
No, he's not. He's very straight.
Yeah. But yeah, we're starting a new loop.
Yeah.
Can we save Mayuri this time?
Yeah.
3rd time's the charm.
I know. At some point,
Right?
we're gonna save her.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Supposedly.
what would be the point of the game at this point? If it just continues. I was thinking, Deathloop, and that reminded me of ReZero.
Yes.
where he dies again and again and again,
Yes.
but wakes up after dying.
Yes.
But when he wakes up, is that like is he back in time?
Yes.
Okay.
He has like checkpoints.
Checkpoints. Okay.
That's what he calls them. So sometimes when he makes it past a checkpoint, too fucking bad.
Hmm.
You can't really choose when
Yeah.
he wakes up again.
But it's just my understanding of ReZero is that it is just throw yourself against the wall until something sticks.
I mean, for a good part of the series, yes, because he's an absolute idiot who only relies on himself, trying to single-handedly save Emilia.
Yeah.
He learns that he doesn't have to do that.
No.
And he learns to think. For once.
The only thing I've really seen from that series is the part with the bunnies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, a bunny.
No. They eat
Sharp
you
teeth.
up. Yeah.
And then he dies.
Yeah. A gruesome death. It
Yeah.
still hurts every time, you know.
Yeah. So I
It
was
should
like,
be more seen as the silver-haired witch does not wish for him to die, so they keep turning time back to resurrect him. Why that is, we don't know.
the one that made him drink her fluids.
Who?
The silver-haired witch.
Oh no, that's Echidna. She's another witch. She's not that witch.
Okay. But she's also silver-haired, is she not?
Yes. But it's not her.
Oh, okay. Because that's also another thing I remember, like I have seen on the internet.
And he
Because
just casually drinks tea. He's like, "Oh, that's my fluids."
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me, what?
we don't get to know what fluids, but it is
She's a witch
implied.
or whatever.
Yeah. It is implied to be lewd.
No, it's the witch of jealousy that for some reason has an attachment to him, and we don't know why. We have no idea why at this point.
So it's like it's those two things, and like some of the memes I've obviously encountered, like is it Rem who loves him or
who?
Yeah, like that one.
What are you talking about? That was only Ram.
Okay, I don't know exactly the context behind that, but I have definitely heard that where they're like, who?
Yeah, because of how, like, season 2 started.
But it's like, there's the whole thing of like, I'm sorry, we love Emilia or whatever.
Yeah, that's episode like 18 or 19 in season 1.
Yeah. And then there's the petite blonde girl.
I suppose. Yeah.
That one's funny.
Yeah, it's Beato.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Beatrice or Beatrice. I can't remember if it's Italian or not. Name.
Don't know.
Every time I see that name, I just think Beatrice because of Umineko.
Yeah.
So here we are.
What was the main title of those games? Umineko and Higurashi.
When They Cry.
When They Cry. Okay.
That's the English title, at least.
Okay. But that. So they don't have that in Japanese?
No.
So they're not in. But they're still part of a series.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Even though they're not exactly the same. Because, as far as I understand, like, Umineko is very much like, a lot of things happen that, like, at least in the beginning, I don't.
Even until the end, I will say.
Okay. For
It's
the
kind of the point.
majority of it, it is very much a mystery of like, how the fuck did this happen?
It's
How?
mystery versus magic.
Yeah,
It's like, is this just fantasy or is this a mystery story?
yeah,
And even up until the end, it's still led up to interpretation of what you think,
yeah.
what you believe happened,
But then, like, there are
which is
definitely,
great.
yeah, at the end there are definitely some scenes where it's like, yeah, no, this cannot be explained by reason. Like the whole, what are they called? That tea time thing or whatever it is.
Oh, the tea parties.
Tea
Well,
party.
I mean, some of those tea parties don't take place in Purgatorio, so it doesn't really work either. But those can still be explained by reason, because all of these things, all of these like episodes, they're all stories written by someone.
Okay.
That's what you have to think. So it's not like they're all potential outcomes for what happened on that island, because no one knows what happened.
Oh.
Like,
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
So, it is very much we. Okay, because I had understood that the point of view was
It was Battler most of
Battler.
the time. Most
Yeah.
of the time, not all the time.
Okay.
It does shift over to Anje at some point, because luckily or unluckily for her, she is the only one who survives because she did not go. She's left alone.
Because it's like Battler, because he hasn't been there for so many years,
Yeah.
he is a bit of an outsider at this point.
Yes. Though that quickly stops being a problem because
Oh, yeah.
people start dying.
Mm.
By the hand of this Beatrice, which that you can argue whether it exists or not. It's that's the whole point of the story.
Yeah, the witch, whether she's like,
Whether witches exist or not, whether magic exists or not, is left up to what you believe.
there's definitely a person who Beatrice is based on,
Oh yeah.
who existed.
Yeah. There are obviously like there's a lot of good explanations for why things are the way they are.
Because it's like it's originally based on Beatrice, who came from fascist Italy.
To hide in Japan.
Yeah, who
in the Second World War.
the grandfather then falls in love with, or
yeah,
whatever.
they fall in love with each other and have a child.
Yeah, they have
and
a
then
child.
It's downhill from there, but I don't want to spoil too much if people haven't played it or read it. Same in this instance.
It's more of a read, honestly.
Yeah, but it's still a game. It's a visual novel with an emphasis on novel. There are no choices.
No.
Absolutely no choices. It's a novel with visual elements, but it is great.
Yeah, it's just it is a mystery novel.
It's a mystery or fantasy. You can't call it only a mystery because that's the entire point of the story.
Okay.
Whether it is fantasy or mystery.
Yeah.
That's the entire battle there is.
Yeah. But it is a novel that just has some visuals to it.
So it has visuals to it, yes.
It's not like it's animated. Really?
No. I mean, it's just like a standard visual novel visuals with CGs and stuff.
So it's not like some visual novels. You have a lot of choices and routes and whatnot you can do.
Yeah, this one does not have that.
No,
because it doesn't need to.
No, because it's all about the mystery and what is actually happening. And you have to theorize about that.
And it's also all about the characters as well. There's a lot of great character writing. Like, I think you would really resonate with Anje a lot on many levels, honestly. Because of the shit life she's had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one of the furniture?
No. She is the younger sister to Battler.
Oh.
She didn't go because she was ill. So she stayed at her grandparents' place.
Okay.
So she's the only one who survives.
But there was also, I remember there was a part that was like, the only way for magic, if you believe in that,
yes,
to work is for people to believe in it.
Yes. That is an explanation they use a lot very early on in the game, is that adults have this anti-magic toxin.
Yeah.
Which children doesn't have, but as you grow older, you get more and more of it.
Yeah, like reason.
That makes magic basically useless. It's like, it doesn't just block you from using magic, it blocks magic from working.
On them. And near them.
Yeah, in the surrounding area.
Yeah.
It's great. I have thought about playing it on stream, but there's also a lot of trigger stuff in it, so I don't know.
Trigger warnings.
Yeah.
Content warnings.
Not that I wouldn't be in like 100 line either, but I don't know. It's, in my opinion, it's a great story. It's got very well written characters, even though most of them fucking suck, because that's the point.
But he is the one that's writing for Silent Hill now?
Yes, Yukishi's writing the scenario for Silent Hill F.
Yeah, which it's like, considering what I've heard from you and seen of Umineko and Higurashi.
Yeah, he's very good with the horror genre. I mean, he's basically only written those.
Yeah,
and
I am very excited to see
because
what's gonna come of it.
He's very good at the, not just, shock factor stuff. He's very good at
ambience
writing,
and
but also just like the characters. What are their thought processes? Why are they like this? Why does it end in such a tragedy, like in Higurashi, for example? It's like Higurashi is especially like really good because you have 4 like question arcs, right? That are seemingly, it's the same characters, same time, but different shit happens. Sometimes even new characters come. Because, he wrote one arc at a time and saw some feedback as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you have the answer arcs. Where, like, the first answer arc basically is, like, an answer to what happened in the second question arc. Because in all of the question arcs except for the 4th one, you follow Keiji as the main character. He's new to this place, so he doesn't really know that much. The 4th one is
the outsider.
Yeah, but he's actually really quickly welcomed, so I wouldn't really necessarily. Only in the first question arc, he is the outsider.
Yeah.
In the second one, he is not. In the third one, he definitely is not. Even though the prior things haven't happened in the new like arc, so to speak. It's like never happened.
But Higurashi also, there is some questioning about, is this a curse that is causing all of this stuff, or are people just insane?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, is it a disease? Is it a curse? What does this?
Yeah.
And is it human made or whatever? There are supernatural elements in Higurashi that are canon. That's just how it works. Unlike in Umineko, where you can argue for either one of them.
Yeah.
Which is the best part about Umineko, that you can argue for either one. But yeah, in Higurashi, like, when you go to the first answer arc, you play through a new character that was there in the second question arc. The sister to Mion, one of the main girls in the group Keiichi's in. And you really get to learn what kind of character she is. She does some horrible stuff, but you can definitely see where she's coming from. even if you can't forgive what she does.
Yeah.
And some plot twist you thought you figured out in that second question art is completely thrown on its head when you play that answer arc. It's very interesting in that aspect.
Like with how like I understand and have sort of passively experienced Umineko.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that's what he's gonna go for with Silent Hill F. That it's like, wait, is that actually like, is that real or is that just imagination, stuff like that?
I mean, again, I don't know what they're going for.
Because that's one of the great things about Silent Hill is like, well, we are as a player experiencing all of this stuff, but how much of this is actually real?
Yeah.
How much of this isn't just, the character?
Yeah.
Character's mental state worsening.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really what's going on in Umineko, but the end result is the same for the player.
It's more like it is more the case that you can argue for either one of them.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping that kind of
that is what
uses.
He's very good at.
Yeah.
That whole ambiguity. Like I haven't read his newest work, Kokonia, but I probably should at some point. That he's still doing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Umineko is very special. It's not a horror game like Higurashi is. Higurashi is a horror thriller game. Umineko is again mystery versus fantasy. Literally, it discusses and perspectivates what a story is. As a story. It's very meta in a lot of things. It brings in a lot of rules of mystery and stuff like that. Yeah. It's honestly very great. Despite all the trigger warnings, because most of the adults are horrible people.
Yeah.
But they always have something about them where you can still see there's some good in them. Despite how bad they are.
Yeah.
And obviously the grandfather takes the fucking cake, but that is spoilers. Because again, I don't know if I ever want to do it in stream, because it is also a ginormous story.
It's quite long.
Yeah. It is very long. But it is also very good. But if you do want to experience it without playing it yourself, I watched the streams with Nesumi VA over on YouTube. So she's a professional voice actress, so she's done a great job at that.
Yeah, I also like that is like one thing where I'm like, because it's a visual novel, there aren't really voices.
There are actually voices in this game.
Okay.
There are voices, Japanese voices.
Okay.
But she turned it off because she wanted to voice act it herself in English. But there are Japanese voices for it.
Okay. Well then.
So that's not really the reason why you should abstain from playing it. Because there is very much.
I'd sort of forgotten that she just turned the voices off.
Yeah.
Okay,
she turned it on once because we have to hear the Japanese version of a character who comes up in episode 4 or 5. I can't even fucking remember anymore. New characters keep coming up in every single episode that is released, so and any character could be a spoiler. So I don't really want to say who it is, but there was just a voice line that she wanted us to hear. This is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, enough tangents.
I like Umineko, okay?
Yeah.
Despite the hard gatekeeping the game has for itself when it comes to its contents. The trigger warnings and everything. That can make people like, oh god, I don't know if I can actually do this.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't have a problem with it because my emotional attachment to myself is very, very low. So But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But I know some people can relate to all the trauma that is in that fucking game, and it can make it hard.
Yeah. Well, yes. Let's we spent like
Don't worry about it.
good 20 minutes on this.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's why I chapterize when we start playing the game.
Yeah.
For this exact reason.
So people can just skip it.
Yeah.
But yes, let's get into the game and try and save Mayuri.
Again.
No. I mean, as in actually save her.
Okay. Sure. Let's see if we can do it the third time.
Yeah.
You have to go over to okay. What's up? What are you looking at?
Oh, I am.
Your switch is still on the wrong time. If that's what you're looking at.
No.
Okay.
I was trying to remember if it is. Pretty sure saved.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
The reason why it's black is because he said "God!" when he woke up from the thing. I saved, by the way.
You did?
Yes, because I was playing.
Oh yeah, you were playing. Right. Yes. I was. For some reason,
You were too tired for this.
I was tired. Yes. The world bends, pulses, and returns to normal. The pain on my wounds has vanished. It's like magic.
Except that it's not. It's just, science. Science fiction maybe, but science.
Probably more fiction than science, but yeah.
Yes. In reality, yes.
I don't have a single injury on my body. They've been replaced with this piercing pain in my head. I fight back a wave of nausea and take stock of the situation.
At least he's not, confused anymore, like he was the first time he leaped. He's like, wait, what? Oh yeah, right, Mayuri! Now he's like, I'm locked in.
Yeah, he's more,
But he also knows what to expect now from time leaping, so.
Yeah. Another successful time leap. That makes 3. Does it? It's the second time you time lead. Is it not?
I don't know. I also was like, isn't it only 2? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It looks like the time leap machine works perfectly. Well, that depends on... Well, I don't know. I suppose the side effects is something you can't avoid.
I think it's because you're forcibly implanting memories in your head. That's why it hurts so much.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, because it's like implanting memories into your brain. Would that hurt?
It's a lot at once, yes. It's kind of, at least in my opinion, it can kind of be compared to when you have forgotten something, or you have unconsciously, selectively forgotten something, and it all comes back to you. When you see that in media, everyone's head always hurts because so much comes back to them at once. It's overwhelming.
I guess. I thought that was more, the feelings associated with it.
Not necessarily. You can have amnesia without having trauma, so.
Because, with, when I first started my therapy, I obviously got worse.
Oh yeah, that's just what happens.
Because I started digging in a lot of stuff that I hadn't thought about for a long time. So obviously I would get overwhelmed by a lot of feelings and thoughts that just had been buried for a long time.
But I associate that more with a pain in your heart than direct pain in your head.
Yeah, that's why I'm would it actually cause physical pain to do this? Like, I don't exactly know how, memories work in the context of how does it fill inside your head. Because in your brain, the thing that makes your brain work is the electrical impulses that are going through the nerves.
But I think you need to see it more as it's a lot of information at once. If you got fed this much information at once, wouldn't your head also hurt trying to make sense of it?
I don't know.
No, but it's the same thing. It's a saying as well that your head hurts from all this information you did not understand, right?
I suppose.
That's a saying you have as well. So I would assume that it would hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I can only assume it's. I have no idea how it would actually work, and I am. If we ever figure that out, how to do something like this, or anything like implanting memories or whatnot, or figuring out how memories actually function and extracting and all that kind of stuff. I am not sure if that's going to be in our lifetime.
No, doesn't really matter either way.
No.
I can at least imagine that it would probably hurt when you forcibly overwrite memories. An entire 18 years worth.
I'm wondering if it's a little akin to an electrical shock.
I mean, they hear it's waves, but again, I don't really know the exact mechanism how these waves are.
It's because considering the fact that your brain, like everything your brain does, like memories, your personality, all that stuff, is purely because of electrical impulses. Wouldn't implanting memories then be like a giant wave of electrical impulses?
I mean,
maybe?
I would assume that it's very similar at the very least.
Yeah.
It needs to be converted into electrical impulses at the very least.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how else would it fucking work in the brain? Everything gets converted to electrical impulses.
Yeah.
The only times when it gets converted to something else is when it has to jump from neuron to neuron. Then it's a chemical thing.
Yeah.
But it still gets converted into an electric signal on the other end. So.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I'm sure it would boost Kurisu's confidence if I told her. But that will have to wait until Mayuri's out of danger.
I mean, he did just get up and scream, "Where is she?
Where is she?"
And Kurisu was like, "The fuck just happened?" It's fair to her, honestly. I would also get fucking surprised.
Yeah.
マユリはどこだいきなりなんぞマユ氏ならルカ氏のところ行くって言ってたじゃん
Didn't he go back 3 hours?
Yes, instead of 2.
And she's still gone.
I mean, she left earlier than when he came last, so...
Yes, well. Hopefully he can stop her at Luca's place now.
We'll see. You can stop at Luca's. God damn, she already left, god damn it! Why are you gone for so long?
Should I call
No,
or send a
I
mail?
should.
Oh, I should call or send her mail. I need to get in touch with her somehow.
But you turned off her phone.
What?
Maya already turned off her phone because it was running out of battery. Question is if that's already happened. That's why you couldn't get in contact with her.
Oh, Mayuri went to see someone after leaving the shrine. The question is who?
It was Ferris, but I guess you didn't really remember that part because people were killing you.
Yeah, he hasn't figured that out yet.
No.
Didn't figure that out before either.
No.
Which is why he was just, waiting for her to show up at the the lab. Before I time leaped, I should have asked Mayuri where she was today. I'm not thinking straight. I have to calm down.
I mean, fair enough. I wouldn't be thinking straight in this situation either, so...
Wait, I know. Last time we failed because we went to Akihabara Station. I should have known that CERN would be watching.
Look at those 3D people in the background.
And the 3D cars. This time we'll take a taxi to another station, then hide somewhere until things calm down. How can you trust that the chauffeurs aren't from CERN?
He hasn't thought that far ahead yet, I think.
No,
I would definitely be sus of that too.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue here. Is like
CERN's everywhere, and they will come for you.
Yeah, you are using time leaping in this case, which is sort of time traveling, against an opponent who also has time traveling to their advantage, and therefore will know what it is you can do, and what you will do.
Exactly.
So
your deviation doesn't matter because they're from the future.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing of how you are sort of using the same powers against each other, and well, if you fail, you just try again with time leaping. If they fail, they just try again with time traveling. So
but who wins?
You are at a bit of a standstill, honestly, I would say. But I
mean, we know that they succeed.
Yeah, they're gonna succeed.
That's the problem. We know CERN will succeed. They're currently winning right now.
Yeah.
Because history says so.
Yeah. But from a point of view of, well, this is a story. The story is not gonna end with CERN winning.
No.
So I know that Okabe is gonna succeed at some point in some way. I just don't know how. So that's what we're gonna have to figure out.
That's very true.
For now, all I can do is wait for my idea to return. It's driving me crazy.
Again.
Then what's the point of going back earlier if you're just gonna wait again?
He isn't thinking straight, don't worry about it.
I consider explaining the situation to Kurisu and Daru, but I just don't have the strength to do that right now.
I mean, you did see your childhood friend die twice. Within like 5 hours of each other, so, you know.
Besides, I don't want to get them involved. I'll take care of it myself. I won't let any more of my friends die.
Hello, Tennoji. Hello, Mayuri.
Once again, the Brown Tube Shop closes early and Mayuri arrives just as Mr. Brown is leaving. My question here is, why is he not just, after he arrives here in the past, 3 hours in the past, time leap again, but further into the past before she leaves?
I don't think he's thought about that yet.
No?
I mean, when he did it, like, in the future,
he's at least
point of it, he can't go further back than 3 hours. He just hasn't really thought about
but it was like
far back he needs to go.
He went 3 hours while he was in a panic state and whatnot, so, but now he has come back, he has time leap back in time by 3 hours, and clearly has some time to sit and think about what he's doing. But he's not.
I still think he's in a panic state, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, because he knows what will happen if he doesn't succeed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like he should have time to at least slightly think about what he's doing.
I don't think so. I think he will think that he does not have any time to waste.
Okay. There's no time to waste.
There you go.
We have to get out of Akihabara as quickly as possible.
To the taxi!
I don't know, the logical solution would be to
Yes.
go back to before she leaves.
But he's
'Cause-
not in a state where he can take the logical solution.
No. We run through Kanda Myojin's backstreet to Ochanomizu station. But standing in front of it were a bunch of apparent hitmen.
Well,
Change of plans. We turn around and head for the Ochanomizu subway station. They're also going to be there, though. I would assume.
at least didn't see any in front of the station.
We arrived at the station later than I intended. I don't usually come here, so I got lost. I like that Mayuri is just following him. This time,
I mean, he probably, like, explains, come with me.
yeah.
And she just does because she has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
But she trusts Okabe, you know?
There is not we don't have to go through the same thing
No,
again.
exactly. The game knows when it's like, okay, we've explained kind of how he handles this. Let's just not show it because you know exactly how it's going to end up. It's going to be the same.
Yeah. I stare nervously at the platform clock. According to the scrolling display, the Yamanote Keihin Tohoku and Sobo lines have already suspended operations. Wait, it looks like Chiyoda line has too. It must be protocol to assume that nearby stations may be threatened, even stations on unconnected lines. Damn! Mighty hasn't said a word about my strange behavior. Okay. So this is the third time I've led her on this escape. No? It's only the second.
I don't know why he says it like that. It's like we're missing a loop. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at first, like, we have the original thing where Moika comes up into the lab with some hitmen and kills Mayuri, and then they go to time leap. Then he tries to get her out of Akihabara, first to go to by going to Akihabara station, but ends up running into some hitmen and then trying to run out of Akihabara and gets hit by the car. And then he goes back to the lab to then time leap again for the second time.
It feels like
and
we're
that's
missing
what we're
the
doing
first
here.
time leap he's done. Because in my memory, I'm pretty sure the shootout happened again before he started running away from the lab. But I can't be 100% sure.
Not as far as I'm remembering.
No, not in the game. I'm just saying in the original game.
Yeah.
The reason why he's saying third, we're missing one for some reason. Not that it matters. It's not really important to the plot per se.
Yeah. But each time she follows me without complaint. Does she really trust me that much?
Yes.
Maybe she can feel my desperation. That's why I want so badly to save her.
Oh no, she's looking at her watch!
We've been together for more than a decade. She's like a little sister to me. I'll leap as many times as it takes.
あのね、おかり。マユシは聞きたいこといっぱいあるけど、今は我慢しとくね。その代わり、終わったらね、全部聞かせてほしいです。
I mean, fair enough.
約束する。
That's right. While we wait for the train, I should ask Mayuri about her whereabouts today. If I have to leave again, I'll need all the information I can get.
True. He's finally realizing that.
At least better.
I mean, he did also realize as soon as he timed, he was like, damn, I should have asked her where she was.
Yeah.
So now he's like, oh, gotta make sure so I don't end in the same situation again, at the very least.
Instead of just, time leaping further back. But whatever.
Yeah.
お前ルカ子に会った後はどこに行っていた？
吹雪ちゃんからメールがあってね、マユシーのコスにちょっと問題発生しちゃってたのです。糸がほつれてるところがあったんだ。
Oh, Fubuki? Okay.
Okay.
それを直しに。
吹雪ちゃんというのはどこに住んでいる？
住んでるっていうかね、
Starbucks.
今ちょうど UPX のスタベまで来てたのです。
Well, what is Starbucks?
A coffee shop chain. There you go.
Cool. So that's where she was. Just then, an announcement plays over the PA system. The subway is resuming normal operations. I mean, so far they haven't encountered anyone.
No?
Right now, Moika should be in Akihabara, heading to the lab.
In a car.
Everything is going to be alright. And that
The
all
music
left.
begs to differ.
Another announcement.
Yeah.
Our train is arriving. I can hear the rumbling and see the lights at the end of the tunnel. The roar of the train draws nearer and
It's
nearer.
not a train, it's a fucking subway. Your words right. Look at that.
Oh, it's still technically a train.
They look way different in Japan, but sure. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's still technically a train. I think by definition it is a train, but we have
You also have monorails in Japan, and
Yeah.
metros, and
but we have like sub definitions
Yeah.
for like trains. It's like the main is train and main train, and then
main twain.
under that you have subways, you have trams, you have monorails,
Metros,
metros.
trams.
I said trams.
Okay.
Bullet trains? I suppose they're kind of their own thing.
I mean, they do work differently, yes.
Yeah.
Don't, run on the tracks.
No. They're
They
still technically sort of running on tracks.
Yeah, but it's more like they are just following the tracks because electromagnetism.
Yeah, but that's still,
They're not touching the tracks, is what I'm trying to say. Specifically like that.
In 2015. Shit, it's 10 years ago. Holy shit.
Don't think about it.
Fuck. Because of the popular trilogy Back to the Future, I think it's in the first... No, it's in the second movie.
What, the hoverboard?
The hoverboard, yeah. Which the second movie, when he goes to the future, it was supposed to be 2015. So people were like, "Oh, we really want somebody to invent the hoverboard in 2015." So line up with that and whatnot. So there was a big
I remember that.
ask for that. And a lot of different companies tried to come up with good ways of doing this. One of them, again, like the bullet trains that run on electromagnets, they also made a hoverboard that ran on electromagnets. The only issue was that they made it seem like it was actually it was hovering without the electromagnets, but people find out that it was on a rail of electromagnets. So that's also they use that idea to
It's
make
really
it seem
the only
like,
feasible way we can make something hover.
yeah,
at this point
and
in
we
time.
can't just have a big sheet of electromagnetism where we'll just skirt around on that. That just it wouldn't really work. It's sadly with the technology we have, it's not feasible to make such a thing. But what we ended up getting instead, because now we have a thing that has the rights for the name hoverboard. They are two-wheeled. The wheels are like beside each other. So, like, think of a Segway, but without the handle, basically. And then you use your feet where you,
Yeah, I know, I've seen them.
like, to, tilt them back and forth to make either side go forwards or backwards. So you can move them independently to, like, turn and whatnot. So, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, sadly, hoverboards will never really be a thing
Nope.
because of that. They at least won't be called hoverboards. Oh well. Maria and I are standing behind the white line.
Just behind the white line.
Yeah, she's supposed to.
I mean, you forgot the word, so.
I did?
You forgot the word just.
Oh!
You just said standing behind the white line. I'm like, they're just standing behind the.
Same. I know that it technically says that they're right on the cusp of the white line instead of just being behind the white line. But
It matters.
yeah.
All I can say is right now that point matters.
Interesting. Okay. I reach for her hand, but I guess there's no hurry now. I let my hand fall to my side, empty.
今日のパーティー
It's difficult to make her out over the rumbling.
中止になったけど絶対にいつかまゆりお姉ちゃん
What?
Hello, Nai. She's tumbling.
Suddenly, Mayuri disappears.
That she did.
That's weird, but okay. I didn't think it was gonna be an accident this time.
You'd be surprised. It's not the only weird death you're gonna see, but as I've said before, it will be explained.
Yeah. There she is, leaning out over the tracks. She's off balance, as if she stumbled, or someone pushed her.
Woo!
She seems to hang there for a moment, and then the train comes screaming into the station.
Bonk. Yeah, and it's certainly a sound.
That's not how it would sound, but okay.
I think it's supposed to mimic, bones just breaking.
Bones and blood splatter and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But no, I'm sorry. No.
Don't worry about it. It's just to emphasize.
It would be more
she's
like
dead.
it would be more like a thump.
But it's just an emphasis on. Yeah, she's very badly hurt. She did.
Yeah, she's not gonna survive this.
No.
Yeah.
She didn't survive a fucking car. Why would she survive a fucking train?
Well, definitely a coincidence. With the train, there is if she survives getting hit by the train, because the train is most likely in the middle of stopping.
Yeah, but it's still going fast at that point.
Yeah. But it's still in the middle of stopping. So she might survive the impact, but she will still fall down to the tracks. And because the train is as heavy as it is, it will never be able to stop in time, and she'll most likely get crushed by the train on the tracks.
Yep.
So, but yes, I heard an unusual sound from under the train. There it is, yeah. A sound that chilled me to the bone.
Goddamn watch again.
Sparks fly as the train slams on its brakes. See, they are making it seem like the train wasn't planning on stopping.
I mean, the thing is here, the subways are very long. So if they're standing in one end, which they most likely were in this case, because it seemed like it was right at one end of the platform,
I suppose. Okay,
that
yeah,
train will go on for quite a while with that speed anyways.
I guess.
To
I
the other
suppose.
end.
Yeah, sure. I can see that.
As one who's been in Japan and taken their fucking subways and other metro trains, they're fucking long, alright?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been there, so I don't know. I'm only used to like our subways and subway/metro.
We don't have a subway, we don't have a metro.
Yeah. It's sort of a subway because it's also underground.
Yes, but that's not really the definition of a subway versus
No,
metro.
but people sometimes refer to it as a subway.
But
A subway
that's
that also
very
goes.
short for us. It's like one wagon.
Yeah.
Here it's like 10 plus.
It's one long wagon with a soft point in the middle for it to, be able to
It can
bend
when it turns, yeah.
Yeah, sort of like a long bus.
Yeah.
Where it has
But
the
Japan is
middle
like
part.
10 plus wagons. It's a fuck ton. So.
Okay.
Because there's so many people taking them every day. So it's very long.
Or maybe there's more than one bend in the metro.
No, that's right. I remember.
Because the tram here in Odense has 2 bends.
Yeah, but that one's also a little bit differently built than the metro is.
Yeah.
Oh.
I suppose. Nah. Sparks fly as a train.
You already read this.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Okay. It's just because we got to a different background, so I thought it was.
Nope.
Okay. Sparks are flying in this heated battle.
Sure.
As they would say in Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
The people on the platform scream.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, I remember this. It's also CG in the game.
I turned to where my ID was just a moment ago. There stands a familiar girl. The tiny form of an elementary schooler, an innocent face. A cute black rapid bag slung over her shoulder. Tennoji is nigh. Her eyes are wide. Her lips tremble. So, Okabe, I guess you're in a bit of a, shock state right now. But what you should be doing is getting back to the lab.
Don't worry, he will be getting there.
Yeah. So it's like there's no point in.
He's just trying to understand what happened.
Yeah.
So he can avoid it the next time.
Yeah. She stares at me for a few seconds, as if waiting for me to say something, then turns and runs away. She disappears in the direction of the exit staircase. Yeah, well, she did kill her, so...
Yep.
The platform is in chaos. The PA informs us that there's been a personal injury accident. Well,
Yes.
that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, but that's the official thing they're gonna write.
Yeah. Nai is already gone. I don't go after her. Instead, I peek timidly through the... Don't do that!
That's just Okabe in a fucking nutshell.
I peek timidly through the gap between the train and the platform. One side of the track is a wash of red. My mind is blank. I can't think. Up, 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 up. Can you go, mister? I don't even... I don't remember how I got back to the lab. Moika's group should have come and gone, but the time leap machine is still here. I guess I should be grateful. It takes longer than usual to set up the machine for some reason. For some reason I have trouble recalling my own phone number. At least it's ready. I mean, yeah, you're in not so great mental state, so remembering stuff might be a little hard.
Yeah. Here we go again.
Here I go again. Oh my god.
Please stop killing my hoodie.
Now, take me back.
How far back do you go this time?
Shit. Reminds me of a song called Paradise City.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4! Wow!
With just one extra hour every time.
Yeah.
The leap occurs instantaneously. Tyler claimed that his time machine takes 1 hour of subjective time to travel 10 years. I don't know if ours has the same behavior, but now is not the time to find out.
Not like you would feel anyways, you're only traveling back a few hours, so...
10 years. I have no business that far back. Besides, according to Kurisu, time leaping too far into the past could cause mental disorders due to the gap between personality and memory.
Hey, she's there! Thank God, I don't have to go look for her.
But wait, you don't have a microwave to heat it up in.
No.
Mayuri is peeking into the refrigerator while singing her chicken song. I was right to come back 4 hours. Well, why didn't you do that the first time?
I guess he didn't think that she would already be gone.
No.
So.
But what the hell happened back there? Well,
She died. Okay, but that's what happened.
Sort of seems like it's trying to say that she's supposed to die.
Certainly seems that way, yeah.
Because in this last incident, it wasn't even Moika who caused it.
Or any of the rounders for that matter.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
It was an accident this time. So, Mayuri died again. This time it happened at Shin Ochanomizu Station, a place completely unrelated to the lab or the bomb threat. Tenno pushed her onto the tracks. Could Nai be working for CERN too? No. Most likely not, but whatever, you know, it's a case of fate-ish stuff. No, that can't be right. Nai has a habit of jumping on Mayuri and greeting. But why did you choose that precise moment? It just happened to line up. That's all there is to it.
She's in elementary school and she probably didn't think about it.
It's like fate is playing a cruel joke on us.
I don't think it's a joke they're playing on you, but sure.
Whatever the case, all that matters now is that I have another chance. I need to act. I have the power to save Mayuri. I will do whatever it takes to find a way.
This time.
This time we hail a taxi on Chuodori. It'll be expensive, but that hardly matters now.
Never.
However,
Around the same time as usually dies.
the traffic is unusually heavy. It was smooth sailing at first, but as soon as we got out of Akihabara, we got caught in a jam. It's been 3 hours now. The driver says it's never been this bad before. Worse yet, we're surrounded by one-way streets, so we can't even take a detour. The only thing keeping us inside this taxi was the vain hope that things would start moving and the belief that we wouldn't make it far on foot. I consider getting off here and taking the train, but then I remember what happened at Ocha no Misu Station. I'm for some reason having a hard time with that name.
Ocha is like, remember, it's tea. Misu's water, so it makes it a little bit easier to break it down into parts. Pronounce it.
Yeah, okay. I have a bad feeling about this. This can't be a coincidence. Once again, I feel the malice of fate manipulating the situation.
So we're gonna have to watch again.
Is Mayuri going to die again? Just then, someone knocks on the window.
Oh! That's a gun. Well, that didn't work out.
It all happened so too fast.
声を出すな、岡部倫太郎。
Fuck off. Survivors again coming for him.
They killed her again. Why? Why can't I save her? Why won't you let me save her? Who decided that Mayuri must die? Moika? CERN? Or God? Does the world itself wish for Mayuri's death? I won't accept that. Well, at least it's not like in Supernatural, where it's like no matter what he does, it's just like even the most just ridiculous things happen. So
I mean,
Dean
there are
dies no
some
matter what.
ridiculous things that happen here, but not as ridiculous as that.
It's like a piano falls on
Yeah.
him.
I mean,
just
there's also
randomly.
Trickster, so he's just like, funny.
Mm.
You know? Here it's a lot more serious.
Yeah.
But some weird shit does happen from time to time.
I crawl out of the taxi and take off running through the traffic jam.
Back at the lab!
After dashing back to the lab, luckily the time leap machine was still there. I have to leap again.
Again! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same time as before, though, but an hour more.
Yeah, he was an hour later this time, getting to the lab. Every time we run, Mayuri dies. Every time we stays, Mayuri dies. Every time I leap, Mayuri dies.
Yeah.
5 hours into the past, I clutch my head and rack my brain for an answer. What do I do if we can't run away? Is there no way to save her?
無理なものか。絶対に助けてやる。
She's just like, what?
This time I take her to the closest police station. When I begged them to take her in, a few policemen started to question me.
Fair enough.
When asked why, I explained that someone is going to kill Mayuri 6 hours from now. But without any proof that there is someone after her, they have no choice but to turn us away.
Yeah.
It's past 6 by the time we leave the station, and we're left with no choice but to keep running. I wish that I could blame my previous failures on bad luck. We could try Ochanomisu or Shinbashi.
Shinbashi.
Shinbashi. Okay.
Shin means new.
Yeah. Again, and maybe this time she won't die. Subways, trains, and taxis. All out. Attempting escape by those means will get Mayuri killed, so my heart tells me. Because I've seen her die a half dozen times already. Shots, stabbed, torn to pieces. We have not seen her stabbed.
We also haven't seen half a dozen times of time they're skipping here. He's been doing a lot more than we've seen at this point. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just trying to hammer in for him that she just dies every time, and can he even do anything?
I can't go
through. We don't have to see the immense amount of times.
No.
Over and again and again.
No.
So.
I can't go through that again.
Alright. Around the time she usually dies.
But Mayuri dies.
This is one of the more ridiculous things she dies of, honestly.
What happened this time? Just like that.
Her heart stopped, just like that.
I can't deny it any longer. The world itself is killing Mayuri.
She just has a heart attack and just dies.
That's dumb.
It's very dumb, but it's also, the world itself does want her dead. So it'll do whatever the fuck it can do to get her to die around this time. Whatever it may be.
Every time I try to save Mayuri, it ends in the worst possible way. Okay, so it's going a little bit of a different way than I was expecting. Because at first I was like, okay, so we're dealing with CERN trying to get to
they're
him.
Also there.
Trying to get to him, and always ends up killing her in the process. So it's like, okay, so it's a fight against CERN, another time traveler. But no, there's more to it than that. It's actually something is like, no, she needs to die.
Yeah, that is definitely what it seems, and even Okabe thinks that way.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we've talked about when I explained how time works here?
Depends. I'm not exactly sure what you're going for.
When we talked about divergence and convergence?
Yeah.
Do you remember what those are?
Well, convergence typically is something that happens because there is a certain point in, there's a certain thing in history that has to happen. Caesar dying or Hitler dying or whatever, those kinds of things, where it's a very
major, right?
Something major, something very important.
Huge impact on history.
Yeah.
And if history is pre-written, so that the future has to happen, then convergence is an event that has to occur for that future to happen.
But you also...
Would Mayuri's death be a convergence, do you think?
It could kind of seem like it at this point, but we're also not really seeing much of the... What's it called? The divergence meter or whatever.
We haven't seen a divergence meter yet. There's actually a physical meter. You'll see
No,
it very
but
soon,
the number thing.
That's because the divergence isn't really that big. Because he doesn't rewrite history the same way as he does with D-mails. Which is why the outcome is most likely gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's a thing that must happen. And if he doesn't get the convergence further away from where he is now, he'll continue to die.
Yeah.
This day, at this time.
Like I was about to say, you also made it sound like that if you did a if you had a big enough divergence, you could sort of avoid the convergence.
Yes, because then the convergence, where if it's Mary, for example, doesn't exist because she's either dead or for some other reason, would be so far in the future she'd be dead of old age anyways, right? She still doesn't exist, but she didn't have to die earlier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
But yes, convergence points are like fate events that must happen.
Yeah.
Because the future has been written for you.
Yeah.
Which is why this game also deals with the whole dualism of you really make your own choices, or is fate deciding what you do?
It's like what's the point of actually trying? Kind of thing. That's also one thing I got into when you were trying to explain the whole thing
and
about
that is definitely also a
convergence and
dilemma
whatnot.
that the game will touch on, because Okabe at this point has seen Mighty die over and over again for the most ridiculous reasons. Like the world wants her dead.
Yeah.
So can he even do anything to save her?
Yeah.
Right? Is there even a point?
Yeah. Why does Mayuri die? At first, I thought it was Moika and her hit squad set by CERN to steal our time machine.
Like you said.
Yeah.
You also thought that was just what it was.
That was my understanding, at least. But as I leapt back in time again and again, the cause of Mayuri's death kept changing. At Shin Ucha no Misu station, she died because Nai pushed her off the platform. The first time it was Moika, after that she was murdered by other people. What does that mean? I want someone to tell me, but who can I ask?
John Titor. Ask John Titor.
Suzuha.
I mean, I guess you can also ask Suzuha if you believe she's a time traveler.
She at least seems to have some answers.
She does seem to let a little bit on, like she understands some things that she shouldn't.
Yeah.
About the future.
I'm the only person in history to leap through time.
True.
No, there's one more. John Tyler.
He didn't leap through time, he traveled through time, but I understand your point of view there.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a difference.
But I have no way of contacting him. He hasn't replied to any of my mails, nor has he posted on @channel. I'm not even convinced he's a real time traveler. I decide not to run this time. Instead, I take a different approach. If running away doesn't work, I'll make the first strike.
I mean, fair assumption. You tried running away over a dozen times. It hasn't worked.
I'll send Moika an email. I need to talk to you about our time machine. Meet me alone.
Okay.
動くな
1.5 hours until Mayuri dies.
両手を上げろ
Guess you wouldn't know that it's not a gun.
Just like a Hollywood movie. But 1,000 times more tense. Moika Moika quietly raises her hands, and I take her gun away.
残念だったな。最初の銃はおもちゃだ。
You can't shoot her, Okabe. You don't have the guts to kill anyone.
I breathe out slowly so Moika won't hear just how nervous I am.
話を聞きたい。お前がセルンの資格であることは分かっている。
なぜ
知りたいのか。知りたいのかよ。
You shot her.
Because of her. Because of her, Mayuri.
俺はタイムマシンで未来から来た。冗談だと思っているのか。だが俺はすでに4、5回は同じ時間を繰り返してきた。
I've lost count on how many times exactly.
だからこれからお前たちが何をするかも知っている。電車が止まる。爆破予告のせいでな。
So it was their doing.
お前と仲間たちが今日ラブを襲撃することも知っている。そこでお前がマユリを殺すこともだ。
私が
理解したか。俺がタイムリーパーだと。
I could kill her now. It would be easy.
But
Wow.
it wouldn't save Mayuri. She'll just die from something else.
I mean, technically, yes. All you have to do is pull the trigger.
You don't have.
But there's a lot more to that, too. Because there's the whole, mental, like, do I want to kill a person?
There's the whole motivational center.
Yeah.
It has to kick in before any kind of movement will occur in your fingers.
Yeah. Trust me, that's even how it is in my dreams, in my nightmares. It's like I don't just do stuff when hurting people and whatnot. It takes a lot to actually do those things. But no, I need information.
お前たちはセルンの何なんだ。
ラウンダー。
ラウンダー。一体どういう組織なんだ。セルンとの関係性は。
メールで。
ダメだ。口頭で説明しろ。
ラウンダーはセルンとは別組織。公には出てこない。そういう扱い。
秘密の傭兵部隊か。
違う。IBN5100。その情報収集と回収のため。
Be careful, Pearls.
Don't sit on top of the bowl, Pearls. You dingus.
Yeah. You're an absolute buffoon.
世界中に散らばって。
Around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. I'm not 100% sure as to how many of our viewers would know that song.
I don't even know it, so.
Daft Punk.
I mean, I know who Daft Punk is, but I don't know really any of the songs. Much.
It's one of their earlier hit singles around the world.
That again, I don't really know any of the songs. I never really listened to any of the songs, so.
No. This was before they made music for the Tron movie that Disney made. It was fairly popular in like late zeros, mid to late zeros. So, yeah.
それを
And a very interesting music video also. It's fairly simple, but still very interesting. Because it's just, you know, people walking around in sort of a circle. You know, around the world and so on. IBN 5100s. That's right. When I met her, she was looking for an IBN 5100.
She was? And you were like, what the fuck?
And the IBN 5100 was used in CERN's database. These days, they're nearly impossible to find. Sorry. People will pay millions just to own one. Millions of yen or millions of dollars?
I don't think it matters at this point.
Okay.
Both. Both is good.
Okay. Is that because CERN has been hunting them down?
ラウンダーの規模は
Maybe. I mean, seems like it, at least.
答えろ
知らない
Definitely taste I've had garlic today. Because it's like I put in the olive oil with garlic, and also the garlic cloves that had been in stored in oil. So there's a bit of garlic here and there, and then I also I put garlic butter into my potato. So lots of garlic, but that's also, I don't know, I feel like that's very appropriate when it comes to grill food.
Oh, yeah.
So
また
we had a fairly big meal today. Let's just say that. A baked potato, some pasta salad that had, obviously pasta. Cherry tomatoes, sweet corn, salad cheese, I think you can call it. Sort of like akin to feta, but not as strong in the taste. Quite mild.
And it's made of cow.
Yeah, it's cow cheese instead of goat cheese. That's probably why it's not as strong. Some garlic cloves that had been, marinating in oil. Olive oil with garlic and pesto. I think that's about what I put in. And some salt, obviously. Oh, and bacon. Also had some bacon in it. Not that it was a lot, but it was one pack of bacon that was in it. They were saying, like, the recipe I had found, I mean, I suppose the recipe was probably also, meant to be a bigger portion than what I was making. Said like 16 slices of bacon, which is like these thin... It's not back bacon, let's say that. Let's say that. It is very much these thin, straight slices that is commonly associated with American bacon, like strip bacon. But that's the kind of bacon we make in Denmark too, and we make a lot. We are a big producer of bacon in Denmark because we have a lot of pigs. We export a lot of it. But yeah. So it's like 16 slices. I was like, that seems a little much. So I just took a pack and just, cut it into pieces. Cut my bacon into pieces. This is my this is my pasta salad.
俺が手に入れた IBN5100 を盗んだのもやはりお前だな。
No.
Spoilers. Moika doesn't answer.
I was just joking, actually.
Okay.
I wasn't really saying whether
Hacking
she
対策.
actually did it or not.
Hmm.
機密保持
Yeah,
最も優先すべき事項だから
makes sense.
Hmm.
Trying to not have people figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise stuff like, this can happen where people are meddling with them and
Mm.
whatnot.
セブン
一体何が隠されている。
Building a time travel machine?
タイムトラベルの人体実験やその実験で何百人と殺しているという情報は普通の PC でもハッキングで見ることができた。
Yeah, no, that is definitely not. I don't think they care that much about the fact that they've killed a lot of people in experimenting with the time traveling machine.
No, they just don't want anyone who has the power to stop them.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. I think there is, probably... I don't know. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is they're going for that is supposed to be hidden in that database that it can only be decoded by the IBM 5100. I have a feeling it has something to do with what they are planning to use the time machine for.
Perhaps.
Certainly feels that way because so far, the only thing we really know is that, well, they're making a time machine, but why are they making a time machine? We don't know that. We don't know what the reasoning behind this whole thing is. There obviously must be a reason.
構築されたデータベースにはそれ以上の極秘情報があるというのか。
Damn it. I did a sharp inhale. And it didn't go that well. I think the funniest, most ridiculous part about this whole thing is the fact that they decided to use a coding system that only exists on the IBM 5100 instead of just making their own proprietary system that nobody, only them, would be able to decode and whatnot. Like having a liability like these computers out in the world just seems like a dumb way of doing things, in my opinion. They should have, went for something more secure, I would say. Obviously, they were like, well, what's the chance of someone finding out what we're doing and trying to get one of these computers to,
Yes.
decode the database? That's a big quinkadoodle, honestly. Yeah. That it's happened for Okabe and his friends, but still, it's a loophole that shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Yes.
Honestly, but it
here
is.
we are.
It is here, so Okabe and the gang can actually, start figuring stuff out and such. And find out that there is a way to do things and so on. It's purely just plot relevancy that relevance that is driving this. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I would say.
At least not at the moment, no.
知らない
末端だからか。
My tone is sarcastic, but Moika nods.
なぜラボを襲った？いや、お前にとってはこれから襲うか。
分かっているはず
セルウィのハッキングをしたからか。
理由は3つ
3 reasons.
1つは知ったから君たちが
Because of what you know.
知ってはいけないこと
Yeah, silence, yeah. So Soren did know about the hacking. Yeah.
Obviously.
それとタイムマシン
Because you've made a time machine, yeah. I mean, we sort of got that when they first came. They were like, give us a time machine.
We're like, no.
We're like, fuck you. And she's like, okay. Kills my Eddie.
Yeah, literally. It's like, alright then.
Well, if you're not giving it to us, then you have to come with us. And there's this person here who's not really part of this. We're just gonna, kill her.
Yeah, she is
君たちが
not,
作った
Relevant.
relevant to developing this. So, do fucking bad.
Soren must be trying to monopolize time travel technology. Well, obviously. If other people can do it, then
That sounds like chaos.
that sounds like their downfall, honestly. And this makes it very hard for them to accomplish whatever it is they're trying. Third, the reason it happens today.
君たちがそのタイムマシンを世間に公表しようとしたこと
Because they want to publicize it. Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do not want us to publicize it under any circumstances.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. How does she know that? Well, how would she not know this?
Yeah.
Honestly, you're dealing with an organization that in the future has access to time travel. So, there isn't really information that they wouldn't have.
No.
Honestly, even if we're in the
They
past.
know we also hacked them, so.
Yeah.
What are you even asking?
Whether it's a question of they know because we hacked them, or they know because they can time travel in the future. That's where the whole thing kind of becomes a little convoluted. It's like, are they doing all of this because future them has told them that they need to stop us, or are they doing this because they have figured out that we are onto all these things and doing all these things themselves? We don't know.
No, at this point we do not.
We made that decision right after the time leap machine was completed. Yes. Which is, again, is either they're spying on you in your own room.
Which,
Like-
it's not that far-fetched.
It's not that far-fetched, especially considering you have a direct line to CERN.
Yep.
For some reason. Clearly to, it could easily be used to spy on you
Yeah.
with. So, or it is because, they know what's going to happen in the future. They already knew.
だから全員を
But that's
拘
an
束
interesting thing, though. Why now?
What do you mean, why now?
Why stop them now?
Because they were going to publish it.
Why not stop them before they even make the time leap machine? Because right now, Okabe is able to actually use the time leap machine for his own advantage.
The question
Which-
is also how much do they know?
Yeah, exactly. So there is that could make it seem like they might not know the future as much as they just know what is happening in the lab.
Yeah.
That's at least what that is suggesting. Because otherwise, you know, go back in time, kill them as kill them when they're kill Okabe when he's a child or whatever, or Kurisu or one of those two.
Yeah. I mean, the thing you can also be asking is, does CERN need the time leap machine to exist for them to succeed in the future?
That's also
is
a
that
possibility.
An existence that has to be
That
for them.
True. It could be that that the time leap machine has that they have figured out something with the time leap machine that CERN needs to continue their progression of their own time machine.
Exactly. In that case, they can't really kill them before it's developed.
No.
You know.
That's true.
So there are also all these dilemmas.
Yeah.
And again, everything will be explained at some point.
Yeah.
マユリを殺したではないか。
あの子は必要ない。
Yeah, we got that. Thank you.
Unnecessary? You bitch! I
Yeah.
nearly pulled the trigger. That's
I
understandable.
mean, fair.
タイ
Honestly.
ムマシーンを作ったのは君とマキセと芦田だから。
Yeah, Mayoshi is nothing but an observer who doesn't really understand anything.
Yeah, she has nothing to do with any of this.
あの子は殺しても構わない。そう。
Which definitely also seems to suggest that they need their knowledge rather
They
than
want
just
them alive if they can.
yeah,
They have
rather than
explicitly
just
said
kill them.
so.
So we keep coming back to this fence.
どうするつもりだった。
Are they near this fence? Keep seeing this fence with holes in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's under some kind of road bridge.
Mhm.
So I would assume this fence is right around in the area too.
Yeah, it's just because where they are, it's dark, and here there is clearly sun. So
But it might be on one of the sides.
yeah, I don't know.
セルンの施設に監禁してタイムマシン実用化の研究を。
Oh, okay. Yeah.
そうやって。これまでにもセルン以外のタイムマシン研究を潰してきたんじゃないか。
私は回収しろと言われただけ。
お前のことを一瞬でも仲間にした俺が間違いだった。
セルンのためすべて FP の命令すべて何でもやる FP の指示なり
What? I can't hear you.
FB?
Is that the name of her supervisor?
岡部君君なのジョン・タイターは
No.
Well, actually,
So far, no.
so far, no. Maybe in the future? I don't know.
No.
何
Nani? John Titor?
考えられない君しか
Me?
何をバカな。それより
Considering
今すぐにお前の仲間と
what John Titor
FB とやらに連絡しろ。ラボ襲撃は中止
said
だと。
to Okabe, that doesn't seem likely because then, like, why wouldn't John Titor know
Yes.
that he's doing this stuff? That seems a little weird.
そんな権限ない。
Especially because it certainly doesn't seem like John Tyler has the ability to remember
No.
if the past gets changed.
No, but that does not seem like the case, no.
知ったことか。権限がなかろうが何とかするんだ。でないと殺せ。
I can't do it. I'm not a killer.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
なんで殺したんだ。
She didn't want to pull the trigger.
お前もあんなことしたくなかったんだろう。なのになんで。
私は従うだけ。FB に。
だったらその
Your
FB とか
Facebook.
いうやつをここに連れてこい。
Do you believe everything you see on Facebook? Is that why?
Now that would be funny, wouldn't it?
I mean, it certainly exists at this point.
Oh yeah. That's not what FB stands for.
Nope. It is even... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've made a Facebook at this point.
Mm-hmm.
In time. Back in 2010. I made it in like 8th or
Yeah.
9th grade, I believe.
I think I made it in like 09 or something like that.
I forgot how I heard about it.
Everyone else was talking about it, is how I heard about it.
I was one of the earlier ones to get into it. I remember. Huh. Oh. Monika shakes her head.
だからそっちの事情なんて知ったことじゃないと。
She can't.
無理なの。FB に会ったことは。
Oh. Something strikes at the back of my head.
Whoops.
My legs give out instantly, sending me to the ground.
ターゲット B を確保。開始を頼む。
Uh-oh.
Deep down, I knew I can't save Mayuri. Even if Moika's group doesn't kill her, the world will. So what to do?
Sawarada!
The world itself wants her dead. That is the choice of Steins Gate. That's certainly
Skate is a sad thing now.
that's certainly a time to use your Chunibyo.
I mean, Steins Gate for him is basically like fate at this point. So.
Yeah, I know, but Steins Gate? There's no such thing.
There you go.
Those words have no meaning.
Exactly!
This is some nonsense I made up to sound cool. Steins Gate doesn't exist, but fate does.
And fate can be cruel.
Are you sure about that?
Mm.
Fate, God, the will of the universe, an absolute force that no one can resist. It exists, and it has sentenced Mayuri to death. I wake up in the back of a station wagon. I feel a throbbing pain in the back of my head. What time is it? How long have I been unconscious? Gun!
Hello there.
There's a man with me inside the car. The man seems to notice I've woken up, but he doesn't speak. He just silently points his gun at my head.
Oh, hey, look! It's the time Mary's supposed to die.
Yeah. I look at the clock on the dashboard. Just before 7.
Yay! We get to see her death once more.
So it definitely has a stick, this car. But that doesn't necessarily mean it is manual. Because some automatic cars are supposed to mimic the same use, like, as a manual. Not that they need to, but I don't know, for some reason some cars do that.
Some people like it that way.
Has the attack already happened? Before I left, I told everyone, including Mayuri, to run. If she did as I said, she won't die by their hands.
They just die another way.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean she's safe. If I don't do something, Moika's going to take the time leap machine away. What will happen then? CERN can have the machine if it will save Mayuri. The problem is that it won't. Not when the world itself is determined to kill her.
Yeah.
I'll leap again and again until I find a way to save her. But if I lose the machine, then the future is decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... probably a bit of a big risk to try and go back and stop them from completing the time leap machine. Because if they don't finish it, he can't go back, and if that still doesn't save her, then...
he's fucked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So...
you can't really bet on that as a strategy.
No.
Because of a worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
So...
oh, this is definitely a... this is not a station wagon. This is more like a truck. Honestly. A van.
I think they call it a minivan in one of the other loops, but...
he just said a station wagon.
yeah, I know.
So this is definitely more of a van, if anything. A future without Mayuri. And the one that... if this is supposed to be the same one Moika was driving, then they're being a bit inconsistent with how the car looks.
That doesn't matter too much.
No. I have to get to it before they do. Even if that means I might get shot.
I mean, fair assumption, yes.
As long as I survive to reach the time leap machine, everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Let's come. Let's come.
Run, okay, run!
And Mayuri is dead.
Yeah, of course she's dead.
Again.
Of course. Yes.
Again.
And again. And
Again.
And again.
So... oh, okay. Not that far back this time,
No.
it seems. It's just before 5. I have 2 hours before Mayuri dies. Again. I find myself staring at the time leap machine. This thing is the reason for Morika's attack. If only we'd never built the phone wave. Yeah, but... the issue is that we can't know if that will, will Mayuri still die?
Yeah, we can't really know any of that.
No, that's kind of the issue here. If only we had never sent those emails. Perhaps the future might be different instead of the nightmare instead of the nightmare it promises now. Would anything change if I broke it? Just smashed it to pieces right here.
岡部、何してんのよ。
Oh yeah, right. She'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
今壊そうとした。何も壊さなくったって。タイムリープはしない。そう決めたんだから、それでいいでしょ。
Well, apparently not, Kurisu.
Well, circumstances changed.
But Kurisu doesn't know that.
No. Not because Kurisu told me to, but because I realized what would happen if I really break the machine. If I lose it, I lose my only hope of saving her.
Yeah.
The fear that outcome stayed in my hand.
聞いてんの？
No.
ちょっと。
ちょっと待って。
ちょっと待って。
Nope. No ちょっと待って。お前はもう死んでる。With no what? Oh. With no particular destination in mind, I get fed up with the crowd around the station and escape the pedestrian pedestrian overpass. My earliest death creeps closer and closer.
そこのドキュン男。
Ah, I remember this scene.
いきなり飛び出したと思ったら、こんなところにいたか。
This is a very good scene.
I lift my head and see Kurisu standing there.
クリスティーナ、
何よ。
今何時だ？
5時38分。ねえ、そんなところでドキュン行為してる暇があったら、買い出し付き合いなさいよ。
Shopping. All right. Preparations for the party. In the original timeline, I went shopping with Kurisu at the UPX market. Or supermarket. What's the difference?
There is.
And then we talked on this bridge, just like now. It feels like so long ago. Back then I had no idea what was about to happen.
どうなの？買い出し。来るのか来ないのか。
I don't believe that it was wrong to time leap. However,
クリス、
初めてまともに名前呼んだな。
助けてくれ。
I can't save Mayuri alone. I realize that now. I can't keep struggling alone.
That's
助け
true.
てくれ。
話して。あんたがタイムリープしたのは分かってる。あんたに誰かから
Because
電
she's
話がかかってきたと
smart.
思ったら、いきなり表変したから。私の目はごまかせない。何があった？
マユリが殺された。
Then I explain about CERN and Moika and about how Kurisu herself activated the time leap machine and made this possible. I tell her about my previous leaps. I explain that the world itself wants Mayuri dead, that I can't save her no matter how I try.
Sounds about right.
すべて俺の責任だ。
Talking to Kurisu lets me sort out everything I've done, everything I've seen.
セルンにハッキングしろなんてダルに頼まなければよかった。タイムマシンを作ろうなんて言い出さなければよかった。モエカをラボメンになんかするんじゃなかった。マユリが死ぬのは 全て俺の責任なんだ。
Is it though? Is it really your fault?
You did the best you could with the information you had.
It certainly seems like that even if you didn't, you know, in the first place get this lab and whatnot, and created the whole thing that you've done with time traveling and such, I have a feeling she'd still die. So I don't think it's really your fault, honestly. But it's hard to know. I don't.
At this point in the story, you can't really know
No.
why any of this is happening.
No, exactly, and obviously things are happening for a reason.
Yeah.
But with the information I have right now, I can't say if what
Yeah.
you have done is causing Mayuri to die. That's what I needed to bear the burden myself. I was resolved to do whatever it took to save Mayuri, never faltering, never giving up. And yet, my resolve has already crumbled. Already? I mean, what has it been? Almost 24 hours or something like that?
Yeah. I'm surprised it held for that long.
Yeah. 24 hours straight. I mean, sure, like it's not like, you know, actual time traveling where your whole body goes back in time.
No,
So-
but he still has the memories.
Yeah, so
Which
mentally
is the problem.
mentally you're gonna be very exhausted.
Yeah.
Not so much necessarily physically, but obviously.
Physically, there's nothing really, like, there.
No. Though, again, your mental state will also affect your physical
Oh,
state.
yeah.
So.
But all his wounds get healed and so on.
Oh, yeah. But it's more like, you know, if his body had been going for 24 hours straight, he would be collapsing.
Yeah.
Possibly at some point.
Yeah.
Not necessarily now, but... Well, maybe now, because now he's coming down.
Yeah.
So. But if he, like, you know, continued in the high alert state that he was in before, then, you know, his body, his...
The adrenaline would...
Adrenaline,
stop.
yes, thank you. Would continue to, you know, fuel him. Until there's no more.
Yeah. Oh, until he calms down.
Yeah.
Or at least a little bit.
Either one of those. Because, like, if he then, like now, calms down, then his whole body would just shut down.
Yeah.
Because it is overworked to a point that a body shouldn't be. And if not, you know, having this calm moment, he would at some point just pass out from overworking the body too much.
Yep.
To the point of could possibly die from it, even. Just his heart just giving out.
Everything, Kurisu. Were you not listening?
マユリを助ける方法が。
あんたの話を聞いた限りじゃ、
Chrono-
時間順序保護
Well,
仮
that went
説
away
は本
fast.
当だったってことになるのかな。
Chronology protection conjecture.
Yes.
CPC.
Yes. In quantum mechanics, a theory proposed by Stephen Hawking that states that time travel is impossible. Any attempt to travel through time will be prevented by quantum effects. Successful time travel requires infinite field energy, which is impossible to obtain. In other words, the laws of causality and by extension the chronology of timeline of the universe are protected by quantum mechanics. And yes, that is a real theory
Yeah.
proposed by him before he inevitably died.
That's a while ago now.
Yeah.
When was that again? Was that in the zeros or tens?
Tens.
Tens. Okay, so you were alive, most of you, at that point.
Yeah.
If you are younger, if you were not alive when he died, what are you doing here? Honestly,
This is a mature game.
you should not be experiencing this.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Speaking from experience, you should not experience this. I've done a lot of stupid shit when I was younger. Don't do like me. It'll only hurt you in the end.
何をしてもどうやってもマユリが死んでしまうんだ。
だからタイムリープを延々と繰り返したか。タイムリープマシンは理論上絶対安全だと証明されているわけじゃない。
No. No, we have no idea of long-term effects.
No, certainly don't.
And especially long-term use. While it's not the same body that keeps using it.
It's the mental state.
Yeah, the mental state is definitely going to be affected by it.
Not to mention he, experiences trauma over and over again
何
all
事
the
もな
time.
く成功してたかもしれないけど、繰り返し使うことでどんな影響が出るかもわからない。
Well, that's going to be very expensive. The amount of therapy sessions you had to pay, will have to pay for. God.
もしかしたら時間の輪、つまり因果率から外れるかもしれない。あんたはそんな危険を冒してるの。そのことを自覚して。
因果率から外れるとは。
SF 小説によくあるでしょ。閉じた時間の輪の中で永遠にさまよい続けるってこと。永久に年は取らないけど、永久に同じ日からは出られなくなる。
Groundhog Day.
最悪の場合、なかったことにされる可能性だってある。存在の抹消。あんたの18年だか19年だかの人生の痕跡すべてをあらゆる人間が最初から知らなかったことにされるかも。
Interesting.
時間を飛び越えることはそれだけ危険なのよ。
Leaping through time is that daggers.
人間は根源的に時間的存在者である。
ハイデガーね。私も今その言葉を言おうと思ってた。
Well, you said that in another,
お前から教わった言葉だ。
so.
I heard it from you first. Huh? When? In the future.
Well, technically not really.
No, in a different timeline. In this case, I suppose.
俺はもう何度もタイムリープしている。
Oh. Okay. I thought you'd already established that you have done it multiple. Okay.
あ、なるほど。
You have. Okay, she just forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
あんたの話が本当だったとして、マユリを助けたい気持ちは私だって同じよ。でも、タイムリープマシン制作に関わった人間の一人として、あれを何度も使うことは勧められない。
No.
あんたはそれでももがく。
Likui.
俺は
To most of you, this will taste terribly.
Hey, we grew up with this taste.
Yeah, I love it. I can't do it alone. I know that now.
だからお前に助けを求めたんだ。もがくために、まゆりを助けるために。俺一人じゃダメだったが、クリスの協力があれば何とかできるかもしれない。できると信じたい。
I wonder what Val is doing. Probably sleeping, honestly.
Probably sleeping. It's a normal working day.
Yeah.
力を貸してくれ。
Either that or... No, they would... No, I don't think they're at work yet.
No, not quite.
Lend me your strength.
無茶しやがってバカ
Babaka.
Baka.
あんた壊れててもおかしくなかったんだからね協力はするただしあんたのために協力するわけじゃないから
Babaka.
Baka.
She's such a fucking Cinderella. She doesn't care.
Slap him.
Yeah.
全部
She's not violence driven.
No, she's
But
not.
she
She's
knows
not the.
She's 19 and or 18, sorry, 18 and she's a scientist. She knows better.
She's not your classic, Sundara who is extremely violent. Whenever they get flustered, they just kick the shit out of the main character.
That's the reason why a lot of people like Kurisu. Because he's kind of like a breath of fresh air back then in the Zeros.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can. Especially with stuff like,
Fucking Toradora.
Toradora.
Familiar Zero.
Yeah.
And all the Cinderas or the Shagan or Shana. All the fucking Cinderas are just kicks or punches you or drop kicks you, whatever.
I don't remember. No, she's definitely a tsundere. In... Fuck.
Can you explain?
The brother sister one where he at first, dates.
Oh, Oremo?
Oremo, yeah.
Yes.
She's also tsundere.
Yes.
Also quite violent.
Yes.
Not to the same extent as
No,
somebody else.
that's
but
because she has the little sister trait.
yeah. And they pretend marry at some point.
At the end.
At the end. Depending on what direction you go for.
Yeah, but I think even if you choose the little sister, they still, can't legally get married, so
No.
they can only pretend marry.
Mm. Oh yeah, well, it's just more the whole thing with the pretend marrying happening depends on what ending.
Yes.
Because it is a visual novel.
Yes.
So, a typical dating visual novel.
それにあんたを被験者にすればいい
Or
データが
dating
取れそう
sim
だし
visual novel, I should say. So, there's many different girls you can choose between and many different routes and so on. Like school days.
Don't think you should compare those two.
セルンの人体実験を肯定する
No. No, that's not fair to school days.
That's not what I meant. I wasn't being subjective. I'm just saying it doesn't really follow the same logic.
Oh, no, it doesn't. No. Because, Oremo is like, well, yes, incest,
Yeah, that's not what I meant either.
but
That's not what I meant either.
no?
I meant in the sense that Oremo is a you end up on a route and then you either reach a good ending or not. Whereas in School Days, it's kind of like a fucking huge net
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
decides what.
It's a
It's
jumble.
not like a specific route you get on. You can always go over to another one
Well,
by making a choice most of the time.
through most of the story, yes.
Yeah. So.
You can cross paths and paths and such. Which is what I think is very interesting about School Days.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's why I think you can't really compare them because the choices you make won't really have the same impact.
Though it's a bit different in Summer Days or Shiny Days, depending on if you're playing the Japanese or the English version. The English version is Shiny Days, while the Japanese version is Summer Days. But Shiny Days also has an extra route with a new girl that isn't in the original game, which is completely separate from the original game.
I could imagine.
So that's where it becomes like it's either, you know, Setsuna or this new girl that you choose between. And there's a whole festival subplot. Summer festival there. But still, the original game, I don't think it overlaps or like intersects as much as it does in School Days. I think it's a little more straightforward. Where it's like you start out by coming onto routes and then the routes branch out into other routes and such. Well, branch out is probably the wrong word. Bad endings along the way. You know.
Yeah.
You don't get the good ending or the ending you want. Not to say that the endings are always good. Whoo, Fadufa.
And that's all we're gonna say about that.
Yeah.
全然違う。
But hey, one of those endings is actually canon in one of the spin-off games. Which is like, Jesus Christ. It's like, oh fuck, why would you do this?
どこが
I don't know.
Sometimes I'm like, I feel like I think it could be sort of interesting to talk to the person who created School Days. And other times I'm like, I don't fucking know, maybe they're insane. Coming up with this stuff.
被験者が岡部っていうところが
Wow, Kurisu.
マッドサイエ
Wow.
ンティストとしては自分自身も平気で実験台にするんでしょ。何せマッドだし。
Yes.
Yeah, well,
そうだな
unless it's the kind who is like, well, I have slaves for that. But generally, yes. Yes, they do experiment.
They at
on
least have no
themselves.
qualms about doing it.
I'm no longer afraid to time leap. I'll do anything to save Madari.
冗談よ。本気にするな。さて、もうあま
Bing
り時間
bong
もないから、
ding dong.
これからあたふたするより、もっとじっくり対策を練った方がいい。
Yeah. Instead of just, you know, running into it all the time. Like,
I mean, that's just who Okabe is as a person. He is acts first, asks questions later.
throwing himself against the wall until he finds
Yeah.
a way to stick to the wall.
Where Kurisu is much more like takes time to think about her actions before she tries something.
Yeah.
Which is why he needs her.
今から、もっと前の時間に飛んでおく。
Yeah.
Yes.
そこで改めて私に事情を説明して。
Chris is right. It's important to devise a plan. Up until now, my actions have been random and they've gotten me nowhere.
Got that fucking right.
Yep. Maybe if I prepare myself better, I might start to enact some change. Yes.
行こう。
As soon as you try to plan things out, you will have an easier time trying to change the present? Future? Present. Past. Past, present, and future.
History.
Sure. But isn't
Past, present, and future history.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Because it's compared to who you, like, from whose perspective you see this from when you say that.
Because for Okabe, it's the past.
Yeah.
For...
Literally everyone else is the future.
Yeah. But that's also the thing that, you know, the reason why he's doing it is because of what happened in the present.
Yeah.
So...
Which is why you can't really use those words to explain it like that. That's why I just use history, because that can encompass all of time. Even the stuff we don't know yet, because time works the way it does.
Okay.
Because time and all history has been written in advance, you can use that term here to encompass everything.
It is at
Yeah.
least.
For this game specifically.
Yeah. As for our, like the real world, oh fucking no. I have no idea.
I mean, we also don't have to, you know, the dilemma of time leaving and time travel to
No.
begin with, so we don't really need to worry about that.
No. Well, some people still worry about, like, well, is my future decided for me already?
Yes. That's why duality exists.
Yeah. I certainly don't hope so. I don't like that idea. It just, because if it is, I'm just like, well, what's the fucking point of doing anything then? It doesn't really matter what I do, because it's all planned out anyways. And whether it's planned out to, you know, work out for me or not, do you see something wrong with Kurisa's hand? How, you know, it's facing one direction when it goes into his hand and then facing a completely different direction when it's coming out of his hand again? Almost a 90-degree angle.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You know, you see how her hand is like this?
Yeah.
Like going in that way. And then her fingers coming out this way.
Well, they're coming, like, this way because of the way he has his hand.
Yeah, but still.
It's because her thumb is like pulling backwards at the same time. I agree, it isn't 100% anatomically correct. It's how fucking animation works. But,
yeah, it's fucked. That's what it is.
But it's not out of the question.
Oh, but to me, I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Taking her hand and rising my feet. So pepperoni, possibly bacon, or some kind of ham maybe.
And then
Green bell pepper. Lots of cheese. About what I can see on the pizza. Could be worse, I suppose. Could be pineapples. Not that there's anything wrong with putting pineapples on pizza, it's just, I don't like them. And that's just my, you know.
It's blasphemy.
A lot of people like pineapple on pizza.
I know. My mom included.
Yeah.
I can say this because I grew up with a mom that likes Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
It's blasphemy.
I had an uncle who liked Hawaiian pizza.
I have tried it. It's horrible.
It's not for me. It's the wrong kind of...
Pineapple does not belong in pizza when there's tomato on already. And cheese.
What is your reasoning behind that? Because for me, it's the sweetness of the...
It's everything that encompasses a pineapple. Just does not... You don't eat pineapple together with tomato sauce and cheese. That's just how it works.
Why not?
It just doesn't mix well. It's not only the sweetness, it's everything.
The acidity.
Everything.
Everything. What did it cost?
Everything.
And it's certainly not necessary right now. Besides, I don't have time to explain. America explain. I like that the window's still broken here.
Well, because he
Broken.
in
Yeah, I know.
again.
Okay.
Turn it on.
I'm wondering how he got through the, metal sheets and
the
whatnot.
shutter?
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually pretty thin, honestly.
Yeah, but still, this shouldn't be that easy.
I mean, Suzu has there. She's strong. She can get through.
I suppose. I suppose Susu can do it. This is because he's definitely done it himself other times.
Yeah.
But oh well.
住居侵入罪で逮捕されるわよ。
So you won't
どう
know.
せ過去に戻れば今のはなかったことになる。
そっか。あんたの主観じゃそうなるわけだ。
Yep.
私の主観だとどうなるんだろう。あんたが飛んだ後、ここはどうなる？
そのデータもすぐに取れる。
I mean, yes. So, I thought that thing was supposed to be in front of his eye.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just
They're a little inconsistent with
like
the
a
way they're.
receiver.
Yeah, they're a little inconsistent with how they're, where they're putting it in the anime version of it.
Don't worry too much about it.
This is funny, consistency and whatnot.
Yeah, but consistency is hard when it's a different person doing all of this stuff.
True.
It's not one
because
person
no.
doing all of the
No.
keyframes, It's a group of not newbie animators, of course, who do the keyframes. Get supervised on them, of course, but still.
Yeah.
Before they get sent to the in-betweeners. So it's like, don't flag them too hard over consistency like that, because it's 20 different people working on an episode just for keyframes, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. My consciousness travels to the past. That I know from experience. But what about the body I leave behind? I used to be so fascinated by the structure of the universe, but now I don't really care. All that matters is saving Mayuri.
Yep.
どうした？
うん。考えたら思考がループしちゃってた。
D メールのような状態になるかもしれない。
Cool. Hey. Hey, cool.
Hey, you have to stop that. Yeah.
Not my hand. Bye. Instant we send a D-mail, the present changes around us. Thanks to reading Steiner, I only remember what...
Only I.
Only I remember what it was like before the change.
その方が楽だけど、悔しくもある。
データを観測できないからか。
そういうこと。転送先は5時間前にしておいた。つまり午後1時40分くらい。覚えてる？私がタイムリープマシーンを完成させたのは2時過ぎだった。
Yes.
Barely. It might be a mere 5-hour difference for Kurisu, but since I've lived through it over and over again, 2 o'clock feels like it was hundreds of hours ago!
時間にルーズの男は嫌われる。
Excuse me, princess!
感謝しなさいよ。
I've been experiencing
私は時々
nothing
よく見る
but
癖があって
trauma
何時に
events.
何があったかは結構覚えてるの？
Wow.
Yep.
Insensitive much?
She's being sassy.
I suppose. Curso finishes typing and turns to my face. Or
Ii,
turns
Okabe.
to face me.
タイムリープマシンを使うならこれだけは覚えておいて。携帯電話は絶対に手放さないこと。それはあんたの生命線、局所場指定のマーカーなの。
Yes.
Yeah.
それさえ持ち続けていればどの時間へも跳躍はできる。
Yes.
でももし手放してしまって誰かに使われたら
Then if I leap to that time, my memories could override theirs. I don't want to imagine what might happen next. Death!
あるいは充電が切
Go
れたら
cray cray like
忘れたりし
Ryuki.
たら
That's what would happen. And then after he starts just going for fucking like minutes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Then I won't be able to leap to that time. If it breaks, then I can get a new phone with the same number, but there will still be a period of time which I can never leap.
タイムリープは成功しない。だから絶対に携帯を手放しちゃダメ。
了解だ。
今日の昼間にタイムリープしたら2時に私がマシンを完成させるまではあんたは特別なことはしてはいけない。これが完成しないときっとこの時間までの流れが大きく変わってしまう。
True.
And?
完成したらすぐに実験はしないって宣言して
Would that be a bad thing?
全員解散させて。
The problem is, if he prevents her from completing it, he won't be able to use it to go further back.
No, that's true. Yeah, but, you know, a little chaos here and there. You know, like he says.
Yeah, the problem is right now Mayuri's life is at stake, so
Yeah.
that's more
私に
important
声
than
をか
his
けてく
fucking
れればいい。
chaos right now.
I know.
未来から来たって言われれば多分私は信じる。
Well, let's hope.
なんでわかる？
私のことは私が一番よく知ってる。
Yes?
Yeah? Yeah?
そもそ
Yeah?
も電話レンジを改良してタイムリー
It
プ
was
マシ
my
ンを
mad
作ったの。
skill!
私なのだぜ。
Now she's leaning into it.
Yeah,
Cool.
because of the way she said, does
あん
it?
たからタ
At
イム
the
リー
end,
プしてきたって
since
言
they
わ
had
れ
to
た
change it
時
to
は
something
自
more
分の理論
slang
が間違
like.
ってなかったって思えた。
Yeah, you know, leaning into the whole internet speak. So,
何の疑問もなくね。
I see.
念のためにキーワードを決めておきましょう。
Just in case, you know, you never fucking know.
私の今一番欲しいものはマイフォークである。
Alright.
なに？
My Sharona.
My folk.
あ、いや、別に意味なんてないからな。
Sure thing.
マイフォークが欲しいのか？
マイスプーンはもう持ってるからってそこに興味持つな。
Okay.
はいはい、準備できた。いつでも行ける。気をつけて。 私はいつだってあんたの味方よ。
Look at that warm smile.
I'm always on your side. Bye!
Bye! Alright. Around 20 minutes until she completes the thing.
You want to stop here, or should we continue a bit more?
Either there or when he leaps further back.
I think this is a good time in the story.
Yeah,
to
either one
stop.
I think would be good, so...
Yeah.
It's kind of what you want.
Yeah. We'll be going for a little while.
Yeah, we have.
And we haven't taken a break, so...
No, I mean, I was thinking, like, when he was going back more than a few hours.
Yeah.
At the very least, we should probably end, because then something new story thread-wise will pick up after that anyways, so...
This is also a fairly big difference, because now he's actually, you know,
Yeah.
he has a plan.
Yeah.
He knows what he needs to do, sort of.
So far, and
to a
he's
point.
getting help, so...
Yeah. Which, compared to before, is a big difference. Because before he was just, you know, again, throwing himself at the wall, hoping something would stick.
Yeah. He was just, you know,
Pearls! Hey!
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 Pearls! Yeah, tell her. Hey! You cannot do that.
They could be put to bed.
You cannot do that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay, well. Let's go in and save.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
There we go, and title menu.
But yeah, as you can clearly feel now, it's starting to pick up pace now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the latter half of the game,
Ow.
like the first half of the game is kind of just a huge setup for this that is necessary, in my opinion, for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't feel like you do, and you wouldn't at some point hope that he actually finds a way to save Mayuri if you hadn't played the first half of this game. So,
I mean, you can't... It's a whole thing with storytelling. You can't just take a bunch of characters, throw them into a scenario, and hope that people care, without actually giving them time with the characters.
yes.
So you have to give people a reason to care about these people, these characters, before you start putting their lives on the line or whatever. Because otherwise it'll just be like, yeah, fucking who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, the latter half of the game is what people really like about this game. Also because it just, you know, it starts answering a lot of questions you've had throughout the first half.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as well as now, lives are on the line, and
But definitely up until this point, with the time leaps, it has very much just been a, you know, Okabe is going in a loop, not really knowing
because
what to
he's
do.
just doing whatever pops into his head.
Yeah.
And, you know, fair enough.
He's being very chaotic.
Yeah. It's who he is as
Yeah.
a person, so it's not... It's kind of what you would expect from someone who's experienced something traumatic and just wants to save that friend from dying, right?
Yeah, someone who's...
He's impulsive by nature.
Yeah, desperate and impulsive.
Yeah. Hello, Echo. Did you get something to eat? Yeah. Hi.
Give me the hand. No. I'm going back now. Bye.
Bye. What's up?
Is there something wrong with the balcony?
No. Probably not.
Does it smell weird? Yeah.
We have not saved Mayuri yet, damn it.
No.
But at least we got Kuriso on our side to help us. And tell us to go further back in time, Okabe.
We have gotten the advantage of having someone with a clear mind
Yes.
who can help.
Yeah.
Instead of just you who is panicking and
Yeah. Honestly,
all over the place.
traumatized many times over.
Yeah.
So, and he knows that traumatization isn't over yet necessarily, so he's always afraid of what might happen.
If he doesn't come out of this with PTSD, then you are something
Steins gets 0.
beyond human.
Yeah. Steins gets 0.
So, never mind.
That definitely deals with it.
Yeah. But yeah, end of the stream, and we'll be back
Okay, cool.
again with this game. What should we do? Oh,
Buy the clothes.
yeah. We'll be back again streaming this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Central European Summertime, like
Yep.
always. Every
Yep.
Saturday, or Wednesday and Saturday
Yep.
at
Yep.
8 p.m. Central European Summertime.
UTC +2.
Yes. So you can always catch our streams there,
Mm-hmm.
and over on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, leave it a like
Yeah.
and subscribe if you haven't,
Yep.
and set the drop down menu to all.
Yes. Ring the
So
bell
you-
and choose all.
Yeah. To be assured that you will see our videos, because otherwise you're letting the algorithm choose for you. And well, if you want to catch us live, best thing is to follow us on Twitch, because then you'll be notified when we go live.
Yeah.
If you have the Twitch app on your phone, at least. Oh, and it also emails. Yeah, Twitch also sends through emails when people you follow go live.
Does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. So, yeah, there are different ways to get notified if you follow us on Twitch. Otherwise, you can also follow us on the various social medias. Links will be in the description.
Yep.
And then you can also see there when we post, when we go live, and also post before we go live on days where we don't normally stream for unscheduled streams.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing to keep an eye out for.
Yep.
But I think the easiest way is probably to just follow us on Twitch, honestly.
Yes. That would be the easiest.
Yeah. Because then you get a notification when we start, and then you can just go watch.
Yeah.
But yeah. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye!